How's everyone doing today? Thank you for joining me on episode 5 of the Optimal Strength Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the world of strength training, fitness, and performance. I am your host, strength and conditioning coach Matt Reed, longtime gym goer, even longer football player turned into a coach, and I am so thrilled to have you join me on another action-packed episode to help you unlock your potential and to overall just introduce you to the world of strength training. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and most importantly, equipped with the knowledge and tools that you need to thrive to get you started on your journey to not only get stronger, but to stay stronger. And today's topics cover those indeed. I'm going over the key components of well-rounded strength training for athletes. I'm also covering the significance of rest and recovery in athletic training and how coaches and players can incorporate it into their training plan. And finally, for the opinionated section or the editorial section, whichever you want to call it, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on coaching with humility in youth sports because man, oh man, it has become toxic. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe for upcoming episodes. You don't want to miss these guys. This show is going to be one of the best shows out there. I guarantee you that. So without further ado, let's dive into today's topic. And at the very end, I'm going to be releasing my Black Friday deals for my website, my training apparel, my training programs, and my one-on-one coaching. All is going to be on sale for Black Friday. So I got the hookup. Let's get into it. All right, let's cover topic number 1, which is going to be the key components of a well-rounded strength training program for athletes. I'm going to be sticking in the realm of youth and high school athletes. Okay, I'll cover college and professional probably another episode. However, this is going to be strictly opinionated. This is my personal opinion. What I program, what I do for athletes, and what I feel like are key components. Other strength coaches will have different methods, will have different opinions, and I respect everybody in the profession. I will never down somebody. That's not what I do. I don't speak negative stuff by anybody. That's the beautiful part about this profession is you can do a million different things and get the same result to get someone faster, stronger, and performing better. So I'm going to start off with cohesive training models is my cohesive training modules. I don't know why I missed that. That is my first point I want to talk about. Most of the time when you are setting up a program for an athlete, you want to make sure that each module or training block, if you will, is cohesive. There is a rhythm to it. There's a reasoning behind why you are training a certain way for a said 4 weeks, a said 6 weeks. For example, when I'm programming for Riverside High School's football team in the summer, that first 4 weeks, we are setting up a foundation. We are focusing on getting the kids back into quote unquote cardiovascular, I would say medium. What I mean by that, I'm not trying to have them run gassers or miles. I just want them to be able to come ready and help progressively increase their endurance for the training that is going to be gruesome for the next 8 weeks. So it's a 12-week program, but the first 4 weeks is really a foundational setting. We are establishing, good habits, good form. We're also establishing endurance and building up that endurance. So that's an example of a cohesive part, because once we get through that, then we go to 8 weeks of actually weight training, getting actually a great feel for the weights, producing force. Another example of a cohesive training module is when a strength coach says, okay, Monday, we're going to hit an anterior workout focused on a force production. Simply means we're hitting the front of our body and focusing on movements that require us to move weight as fast as we can on the eccentric unload. So we want to make sure we are driving up with as much force that we humanly can do to produce a stimulus from our type 2 muscle fibers. Pretty much what I'm saying is, that correlates to, okay, we're hitting the anterior group, so we're hitting our chest, probably some shoulders, some quads. So some squats, probably some bench press and overhead press, 3 movements right there, focusing on medium repetitions, more force, moderate weight. It's cohesive in the method of how that coach wants players to train in that day. Then the next day, if they do a posterior hypertrophy day, focusing on building muscle, focusing on a strengthening muscle. That is the cohesive unit that way. Overall, the goal of the program and the training models is to not only build muscle, but also to build productive and fast twitch muscle fibers that produce more force. Again, so that's an example of cohesive training module. Next point is teaching proper form for compound lifts. That's a huge component. That's actually number one on my list. Teaching proper form. You guys are going to hear me say this over, especially if you're on my Instagram. You're going to hear me say it over and over and over. I literally told all of the seniors last summer, when you come into the weight room, I don't care about your max bench. I don't care about your max squat. If your form is horrible, I'm going to strip you down and we're going to build it back up. And I guarantee you, majority of the senior class, I had to strip them down and start back with the bar or 135 to get their form right and to ensure they were doing proper reps and actually doing it to get an athletic response from the body. And I'm going to emphasize this, a lot of coaches and a lot of trainers, please start stressing the importance of form versus weight. Deadlifts, I see so many horrible deadlift videos. Oh my God, it's so bad. The lower backs are just going to be snapped. Squatting, the same thing. The hunching over with the spine, putting too much pressure on the lower lumbar system. For what? For just views? For just to feel good about a lift that really doesn't count because your form is crap? Please start teaching these athletes at a young age good form, and you will see so many good habits form. Right? Third point, emphasize the goal is to be faster and stronger, and you're not a bodybuilder. I with teenagers, they're going through puberty. They like girls. They want to look the part. They want to look good, feel good. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So when you're teaching these and coaching these young athletes, you want to remind them our goal in the weight room is to develop muscles to make us faster, to make us stronger, to make us do a job at the pinnacle of it, right? Not to enhance our muscles. Again, you will get a hypertrophic response in your body through strenuous resistance activity. That's just a natural part of life. It's not going to be the building muscle mass in an 8-week period. Some kids are freak athletes, so that's going to happen, right? But majority of the time, it's not going to happen that way, okay? And I try to remind them, tell them that we're doing this to get you faster and stronger for your sport. If you want to look better from the gym, do that outside of the training session on your own time, and then go from there. But remind them what the goal is. Another point, again, another one I'm going to hammer home, progressively overload properly. I see it too many times where kids will go from 135 to 185 within 2 weeks. And it's like, you can't even hit 185 yet. Why'd you skip 155 on a bench or whatever? Coaches, please make sure that you're progressively overloading properly. Adding 2.5-pound plates on each side to start off with and making them do 10 repetitions with it and then making them do 10 repetitions again is a great way to start off, and especially if they start off with 135 and can only do 8 repetitions. You add on 2.5 pounds, they can do 10 repetitions. They have progressively increased their strength by 2 more reps and by 5 more pounds. You don't have to make these astronomical jumps to see progress in an athlete's strength. So progressively overload and not ego overload is really going to make a difference and should be a key component in a strength program. Lastly, too, this is for coaches, applying patience to your program. I fell victim to this when I was younger and I first started being a strength coach. I was so gung-ho about my style of coaching, about my program, like it's going to get results really quick, really fast. And it didn't, and I felt horrible. I felt like I just stole money, right? Because I'm like, man, I'm actually bad at this. Like, hold on. What I learned is when you're training younger athletes, youth to high school, you have to be patient. You have to teach them rather than expect them to get it right away, whether a college or a professional athlete would, because their body's mature, their muscles are mature. Patience and applying that to your program is going to take you a long way, especially if you have 3-4 months. you want to dedicate the first at least 6 weeks to building a foundation and showing them properly so that you don't have to babysit as much going forward and you can actually get into the nitty gritty to cover what you are trying to establish in this program. So again, just going to recap: cohesive training modules, teaching proper form. The goal is to be faster and stronger, not to look better. I mean, you're going to look better, but hey, progressively overload properly, and applying patience to the program as a coach. Those are my main 5 points and 5 key components of a well-rounded strength program. So before I dive into the next topic, I got to pay the bills with a little bit of advertisement, but you guys are going to thank me about it. So here we go. Hey guys, before we dive deeper in our discussion today, I want to take a moment to share an exciting opportunity with you. Do you want to take your fitness journey to the next level and maximize your gains? I know I do. Trust me, that's what I've been searching for. Well, I have an amazing partner that I want to offer to you that can do just that. Meet MHS Supplements, your trusted source for premium, high-quality supplements designed to support your athletic performance and recovery. MHS Supplements offers a wide variety of products, from their hybrid pre-workout to recovery-boosting supplements, all backed by a vigorous source of quality standards. So whether you're an elite athlete or weekend warrior, MHS Supplements has something for you. And here's the best part. So I hope you're listening. You can get 10% off your next purchase. Simply use my code STRONG10 at checkout to enjoy this exclusive offer. So what are you sitting there waiting for? Go to mhssubs.com and use code STRONG10 at checkout to get 10% off. And I'm telling you, you're not going to regret hitting your full potential, becoming the best version of yourself, and being the strongest in the gym. You'll thank me later. Rest and recovery in athletic training, I feel like it's not stressed enough, especially in the realm that I would have to call myself a professional in, with youth athletes and high school athletes. It's definitely not stressed enough. These kids are put through the ringer over and over and over again, and they're not taught proper sleeping habits. They're not taught proper stretching habits, proper recovering habits, whether that's taking a bath, whether that's icing, whether that's heating, whether that's stretching. It blows my mind backtrack, true story. I had to make yoga mandatory, okay? Mandatory yoga once a week, whether it was a Sunday or a Saturday, for the team that I am the strength coach for. I had to make that mandatory just so the guys can give themselves a break and break up some of that muscle tissue that's bruised, that's tight, whatever. I had to make them do it, okay? Rest and recovery is crucial. And what I've found over the years, we're doing research, watching the coaches, or just for myself, is you have to make it make sense for them. So you can tell them if it's the off season and you're training, then when you get home from the weight room, don't hop on the game, okay? A, do your homework. That's the first thing. B, go take a nice bath. Fellas, I'm going to tell you now, you fellas in this modern era of masculinity, bro, taking a bath after training is probably the best thing, and you're going to feel amazing. So stop with the whole men shouldn't take baths, bro. Take a bath. Put some Epsom salt in there. Get it nice and lukewarm or hot, and relax your muscles and let it recover. Once you're done with that, go into your room, stretch for about 15 minutes. Your body's going to feel so great. If you do that 3 times a week, I guarantee you're going to feel better, move better, and you're going to just thank me. And you're going to thank me. You're probably DM me on Instagram like, Coach, you was right. I know, okay? Trust me. So that is an example. And the way you can incorporate this, coaches and athletes, is the way you can do this is so for off-season training, and we have 5 days in a week, we only train for 4 days in the off season. Okay, this is an example, hypothetically speaking. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can make a mandatory recovery day. So you can tell athletes, okay, Monday, I see you Monday, I see you Friday. So those days after we train, we're gonna do some static stretching, really focusing on loosening the body up. Wednesday, I don't see. I want you to go home and I want you to do yoga. It'll be posted in our training app, or here's a link to a video I want you to watch. But it's mandatory. You have to check in. You have to do it. Okay. Or you can make it a 4-day recovery process where Saturday they have or Sunday they have to do something along with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's the way you can incorporate it. Off season, to kind of check it, you can actually drop one of those training sessions. Hear me out, and actually do some form of yoga. So like your Friday training session could be yoga and core, okay, or yoga and calisthenics. That way you're still able to set a good foundation of hypertrophic response, a good foundation of actually building force production, but also enhancing flexibility, enhancing mobility, stability. So those are some examples how to incorporate it. Now, during the season, again, seasons can be grueling, but you want to make sure that if Monday's your film day and your lifting day, have the guys, do a nice lift, but also meditation. Meditation is a great one. Have them decompress, especially these athletes. They're going to school. They're young. They don't know what's going on at home. Their minds are all over the place. Have them decompress for about 15, 20 minutes before training, before a meeting. Is going to make them feel relaxed, but also clear their head and have them motivated for what you want them to do, rather than thinking about Mary Sue and her texting her later and all that good stuff, right? So those are ways to incorporate it, and you can mandate it without seem like you're overwhelming the athlete, because you don't want to overwhelm them. You want them to understand this is for you. I care about your body. I want to make you be the best athlete you can be. Whenever I'm training an athlete one-on-one, when I sit down with him and the parents or her and the parents, I tell them, hey, I'm gonna see you 3-4 days a week. Okay, that's fine. But 2 of those days that we're seeing each other, we're doing some sort of static stretching. We're doing some sort of foam rolling, some icing, some heating, focusing on making sure your body is up to maintenance and that you're performing at your highest peaks. I don't want you paying me and you end up blowing a quad or blowing a hammy because, all we did was lift compound weights and made you bulky and not made you be fluid and able to move. So I always make sure that's a key component for my programming. And even I try to tell the coaches, like, you have to have a recovery plan in progress, and you have to make sure you go to your head coach. Hey, coach, listen, I know I'm a strength guy. I know I'm supposed to be the meathead in the gym, but in order for us to take it to the next level and be a good program, we have to start emphasizing recovery and making sure guys are locked in and are training properly. So again, the 2 methods I'd recommend for high school athletes, I'll cover the youth one in a second. But high school athletes you can do it to where 2 days out the week, when you see your kids or you see your players, you can mandate some sort of yoga during that session. Or you can do a 3 days to where they see you twice a week, and then on the weekend they have to do one to check in. Again, it's no telling if they're going to do it or not, but having that standard set to where it's crucial for their recovery and crucial for them to be icing, to be heating, to be stretching, to be drinking water, to make sure they're hydrated, getting their electrolytes in. Those are things that should be mandated in some sort of syllabi, some sort of contract that the player signed after season for training, something like that. So they should know. Now, as a youth athletes, it's a little bit harder. Most youth practices, especially here in Wisconsin, are 3 days a week. So it's going to be kind of hard. But what you want to do is you want to emphasize the importance to the parents. You want to sit down with them. Hey, I don't know what your home life is, but I recommend that if you guys get little Johnny on this regimen of stretching every day, they're going to feel better, and then he's going to be able to move a lot better, won't be as sore after his games. Also, if he could take a bath twice a week and with some Epsom salt, that'll help him too as well. And he's young. We don't want his body to be in pain and be sore. So, definitely follow his regimen and he'll see a difference. Just relaying that to the parents and also telling them, genuinely you care about the kid's well-being, because that's the whole point. You want them to be able to, be moving, be functioning when they're, 30, 35, 40. I'm not saying I'm 30. I'm not saying I can't function, but I didn't take recovery serious, okay? And go into my shoulders. We can talk about that, but we're not doing that. But again, that is a great way to incorporate it. And I want to emphasize again, rest and recovery is important and should be always top of any training program's list. All right, now we're on to the juicy topic, the one I've been salivating over, the one that actually was recommended by a lot of youth coaches and a lot of high school coaches that I know when I did a poll on Facebook, was talking about coaching with humility in youth sports. This has been a big one for me And I've always been a young coach in a world of old school coaches. But I had a lot of old school, no nonsense coaches growing up. Those you listening outside that don't know me personally, they're outside of the Wisconsin area. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the inner city, born and raised, MPS product, proudly. I played in the NCSL, the Neighborhood Children's Sports League in Milwaukee in the inner city. Played with some of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. And the league itself, I will give the league credit. It's not perfect. It's not, it has its flaws, but it does provide a environment of football for kids. And I love that aspect about it. My best friend till this day, we've been friends for almost 20 years. And I met him playing football. So I thank that league for a lot of stuff that it gave me. But one thing I will say is that when I went back and started coaching in 2018 in the same league, I noticed that a lot had changed, especially with coaches. Maybe I was an adult and I started noticing more than I did when I was a kid. But coaching in youth sports is so toxic. It's way more toxic there than high school and pro. I'm sorry. Coaching youth sports is toxic. These coaches, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing within our culture or something, but these coaches literally live vicariously through so many of these players. Not to mention the nepotism when there's a player who's a nephew, a cousin, a son. It's insane, but that's another topic. But these coaches vicariously live through these kids and don't understand their playing days are over. We're done. We can no longer do this, so we are coaching and trying to help these kids become the best version of themselves. Like, I used to legit tell my team, like, man, look, I want to win this game. I genuinely do. But the two things I care about the most are you guys having fun and you guys learning this game. Like, and I made that known to the parents, to the organization, because at the end of the day, that's what matters the most in that youth level. They have fun and enjoy a game that is beyond fun. And they also learn so that way when they get to the next level, they know real football. But instead, you have coaches that for some reason feel the need to live through these kids. Like, dude, we're done. Like, we had our time to play. It's over with, man. Like, let's just chill, blow the whistle, get some good schemes going, and have nice competitive games. Another one, too, is focus on teaching the game properly, which I just touched on. It blew my mind for the 5 years that I was a head youth coach, offensive coordinator. How many kids would come over from other teams and did not know terminology? My kids knew terminology. They knew what jet sweeps were. They knew what a trap block was, what a zone blocking scheme was. They knew how to communicate to get off blocks and how to call checks. They knew basic football and some advanced football methods to where when they got to high school, I stopped at their practices. Their high coaches said, hey, coach, just want you to know, great job, because he came in, he knew exactly what we were doing on offense. Appreciate it. Cool. One of my former players, I've coached him in youth. He's Division I in North Dakota State right now, playing outside linebacker, and treated them with the same amount of respect I treated other players, of teaching them proper terminology and how to do and how to read and how to properly, dissect and retain information. Again, and that's the second point, is we're teaching the game properly. We're making sure these kids are retaining information. You can't do that if you're trying to make the game about yourself. That blows my mind. Like, I don't mean it's like I'm getting irritated, but I am, because a lot of these grown men make these games about them, and it's not, man. It's about these kids, and make sure that we're teaching them properly and they're retaining the information that we're giving them so they can carry it on to the next level if they choose to, okay? And also, be humble when we're coaching these athletes. They will copy everything we do, because most of the time, I would say half of the time, you'd be surprised how, as a coach, you are that male figure in a kid's life. And they will try to emulate a lot of things you do, what you say, how you walk, how you talk, etc. You are an example of how a male is and how it's supposed to be. So if we're out here cussing, swearing, bringing guns to a game, betting on kids' games, what example are we setting for our youth, especially in our culture? What are we setting? What are we doing? Like, what are we really doing besides out here for free, just willy-nilly, wasting the kids' time, the parents' money, and just to make ourselves look nice. Like, come on, man. We are too old for this. Like, for real. Be humble when coaching, and be humble to the fact that you have an opportunity to impact a kid's life. You have impact to be a positive beacon for them. And that is the best part about it. That's why I coach, and that's why I love coaching. That's why I coached 5 years for free. I spent 3-4 days a week doing it. And then if you count Sundays, I did game planning. I just loved being and showing that work ethic to these kids. Like, hey, look, if you work hard, you can do this. Like, and then I'm here for you guys. And then the last point I'm going to make, and this one is wild for me because I've lost games. I think every coach has lost games, but it's be humble in your wins as much as you are in your losses. We all know losses will humble you no matter who you are. Please teach your kids sportsmanship, how to shake someone's hand when they lose, but also how to shake someone's hand and be respectful when they win. I see it too many times when teams win and, they're boasting and bragging in the kid's face. Like, man, look, teach your kids and also yourself how to have respect for somebody else. Don't be in their face cheering, throwing around stuff, smoke bombs, whatever you want to do. Have some respect and humility, and just that's part of the game. Once you're done shaking hands, go do what you want to do then. But in that point of trying to teach these kids sportsmanship, you teach them, hey, when we win, we act like men. When we lose, we act like men. And we shake hands, we say good game, then we go about our business. So, like I said, it's very toxic nowadays. It's very toxic. And I do believe in order to change, there has to be a coaching shift. Hire new coaches, find new coaches. I would say, make sure that these organizations, when you're finding coaches, make sure you find good quality people versus people that, I'm going to say this. Anybody can learn football, okay? It's not that hard. If you're a quality person, your heart's in the right direction as a youth coach, you'll go far. You can learn the scheme. You can run a basic sweep right, sweep left scheme while you're learning terminology. But if your heart is there to teach the kids, to make them retain, to be humble and teach them how to be good young men, you'll do fine. But if your heart is there to bet on games, to show off these trophies that mean absolutely nothing to us, but to the kids they mean everything, and to flex on Instagram, flex on Facebook about how many games you won, you didn't win nothing, bruh. Those kids won those games. Okay, those kids, whether they're playing 2 games a weekend, practicing 5 days a week at 6-7 years old, they're out there putting their work in. So emphasize that. All you did was show up, draw something on, and they did it. And then I was a coach for 5 years in the youth. And I understood that I'm here giving them a scheme, they're performing it, and it's my job to make sure that they understand that they're important. So that is my rant for the day, or my editorial segment for the day, because, man, I had to get it off my chest. And shout out to all the coaches and players that asked me to cover that topic for the day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 5 of the Optimal Strength podcast. I am just so enamored and so appreciative of all the support that I'm getting for this podcast. I'm trying to take this to new heights, and I'm trying to make this become the #1 strength and athletic training podcast out there. Thank you so much. Episode 6 will drop next Friday, again, the usual time, so stay tuned for that. Also, follow me on Instagram at optimalstrengthtraining_. You'll be able to see all my updates on everything. Get in touch with me directly. Message me if you have any topics you want me to cover. Also, Black Friday is coming up. So good news. I started my Black Friday deals early, people. OptimalStrengthTraining.com. I have great deals running, okay? On my apparel, which my OST jogging suit just dropped, so go check it out, y'all. You're gonna look nice and feel great, you feel me? All right, go check it out. Also, plethora of training programs and efficient meal plans on there too, as well, that you will love as part of the Help Your Fitness journey, your performance journey, whichever it is. I got you covered. So right now, any purchase you can get 10% off by using the code BX. No matter if it's just one hat, no matter if it's a hoodie, no matter if it's just a shirt, you're gonna get 10% off that. Okay, I'm gonna hook you up. Also, any purchase over $50 more, you can get 15% off. Use code BF15 at checkout. $50 or more. It can be a jogging suit set. It can be the training program, their shirt. Doesn't matter. You get 15 off. Next, for those of you who are looking to be generous, right, and want to really spoil yourself, you want to get a program, you want to get a jogging suit, you want to get a hat, you know what I'm saying? You want to look the part while you're training. Boom, I got you covered again. Anyone that spends $100 or more, you are going to get 20% off with code F20. So there's 3 different ways you can save money and support the podcast 100% there. So again, I appreciate everybody. Go visit optimalstrengthtraining.com right now. The deals are active today until December 1st. So you have a plethora of time to take advantage of this. And I'm so excited for it all. Also, if you are interested in one-on-one coaching with me to do whatever it is, lose weight, increase your strength, become faster, I am accepting clients. So go ahead and get a message on Instagram at optimalstrengthtraining_, and let's chat and talk about it, guys. All right. So again, thank you for tuning to episode 5. It has been a pleasure. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes. I will see you next week.